Now, despite everything else going on in the music industry right now, Kendrick Lamar and everyone who is behind him are not stopping the run they are on, and really in every single way possible. From Kendrick Lamar's GNX album posting one of the top 3 highest second week sales figures of this decade, to Kendrick still having 3 top 10 hits on the charts despite it being the time of the year where holiday music tends to dominate all the airwaves, to even other artists around Kendrick like SZA now getting ready to release her long-awaited deluxe album to her record SOS titled Lana, which is now officially on the way. All in all, in this time where the rest of the music industry is going away for the rest of the year, Kendrick Lamar, PG Lang, and Top Dawg Entertainment are all getting ready to give us what may become the most dominant single-year stretch in hip-hop we ever see from an entire crew and wave. And right now, from what we can definitively see, all of this hype for 2025 is culminating in Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Stadium Tour. And now with all the anticipation and buzz this series of performances are already seeing, Kendrick and SZA hitting the road to take hip-hop and R&B into some of the biggest venues in the world is looking like it's gonna end up breaking so many different touring records. And now as all of the anticipation and buzz is increasing for this concert by the second, and as a result, Kendrick and SZA even rolled out more shows in both Kendrick's home city of LA and SoFi Stadium. Which seriously, when it comes to that city itself, if you thought the pop-out was legendary, them at SoFi is gonna be 100 times crazier. And also they rolled out an additional show in none other than Toronto, Canada in the Rogers Center. And so with this, both in the region that Kendrick is from and in the place where his biggest rivals reside, he has been showing that he is commanding a level of popularity that no other rapper can right now, and because of this hype, and also the narrative in general that Kendrick Lamar's success has even made him the king of Toronto and Canada over Drake, as he is now not just playing in a venue that Drake has never been in, but at that one that is way bigger than anything he has ever performed in his hometown as well. Altogether, with Kendrick now coming back into Drake's home city, and after a time where Drake banned other people from Kendrick's camp of playing, now he's about to have the biggest show any rapper ever has there. Things are starting to look worse than ever for Drake and OVO, because beyond any claims of artificial numbers or fake hype and demand, there is now nearly 100,000 tickets that are going to be sold in his own city of people who are all going to watch the man who has destroyed his career perform. And now because of this pressure and just general humiliation Drake has been feeling, as now he really has nowhere left to run, Drake has already started doing the one thing he can in this time, which is to troll and try to just be straight out petty, because while Drake will never get in the booth and go head to head with Kendrick Lamar in terms of releasing diss tracks again, as we have all seen, Drake is still going to try to be petty and take down Kendrick Lamar any way he can behind the scenes. And really, just as we saw Drake accuse Kendrick and his label in the most pathetic way possible over the hype and success of Not Like Us right when GNX released, which when it comes to the timing of that was definitely to try and hinder the success of that record, as we now enter a year that is really gearing up to be even bigger for Kendrick Lamar, TDE, the West Coast, and every single person around him. Because of all this hype, get ready for Drake to go even beyond the most petty lines he has crossed already, and just straight out do the most pathetic things we have ever seen from a rapper, even for his standards already. But now before we even get to here, right now, just with all of the build-up and success that Kendrick and TDE are seeing right now, Drake has already tried to sabotage this historic moment that is gonna go down as Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour. Now before we get into what this latest moment in the catastrophe that is Drake's career right now is, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And so now with what Drake has been trying to do to seemingly take down the absolute milestone that is Kendrick Lamar playing in the biggest venues on the entire continent, is first off, and most importantly when it comes to having any sort of future for his career, is to try and step on Kendrick Lamar taking control of Toronto with his 2 shows at the Rogers Center. And now what Drake is doing here, instead of trying to win back his city by once again tapping in with their local scene and becoming an active participant within their culture, which just as we have seen Kendrick Lamar lean into has been one of the most successful ventures we have seen any rapper pull off recently, and even beyond the local scene, just coming outside in this time where his reputation is in the mud and trying to win people back over by reminding everyone of a time where he was once liked. Instead of any of this, Drake is seemingly sitting back right now and plotting on how to counter whatever Kendrick Lamar is doing with an antic that won't put him in any direct confrontation with him, but at the bottom line will try to take away the spotlight from Kendrick with Drake's own actions. And now already, before we can even get into Kendrick's tour, with Lamar's first major appearance at a stadium event this year being none other than the Super Bowl. Already with this moment, we have seen Drake hint so many different times that he is going to try and ruin the big game, which he has posted both cryptically about when he has shown off pictures of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises in the iconic scene where he marches into a football field, and beyond whatever strange plans Drake has in his head. He also announced an entire world tour which starts on the same day as Kendrick will be playing at the biggest show in music. And now, based on the way Drake has already tried to take down GNX and redirect headlines his way by just doing one of the wildest things we have ever seen a rapper do following a rap beef, well, you can almost 100% say that even Drake in his prime could not create a bigger moment than Kendrick Lamar playing at the Super Bowl. Despite this, with Drake hitting the road for the first time since the beef, we are definitely going to see something major happen on his end, and if he was talking about Kendrick Lamar and everything he did to him on streams and on random posts, he is definitely going to try to sneak diss Kendrick from the other side of the world, all while Kendrick Lamar is having the biggest night of his career. And so now from this and fast forwarding to the shows at the Rogers Center, what the rumor right now going around is that Drake is going to be pulling a 50 Cent and is going to buy out all the floor seats for this show for Kendrick, so then the concert is seemingly empty, and no one goes, which will make Kendrick look like this big failure. And now when you consider the types of games Drake plays and how much he looks up and still talks to 50 Cent, well, there is no actual strong confirmation that he is gonna be doing this, as Drake does not have the leverage to shut down this stadium and not have Kendrick perform, as he is not on good terms with the owners of the Rogers Center or the organizations that run the team that plays there in the Blue Jays, like he is with the Raptors, for example. We are not going to see a repeat of what happened to somebody like Schoolboy Q or Sir when they came to Drake City, and so knowing this, the only way Drake can really come at Kendrick would be to do something like buying out all the concert tickets, because even if Drake decided to do something like holding his own concert on the same night, even if he sold out the next biggest venue, it would still be less than half of what Kendrick is doing. And so now with Kendrick's actual show at the Rogers Center, with all this context and based on the way the seating charts have been getting filled out so far, some people think Drake is actually trying to do what 50 did, but really when you look at Drake's goal and then see that with a show on the scale of this, and also with the demand and where the cost of a single ticket is at, unlike what 50 did with Ja Rule, for example, the only reason what 50 did worked in the first place was because the tickets for Ja were marked down so much that he was not going to make anything from the show regardless. Meaning that if Drake got these tickets, all he would be doing is making Kendrick Lamar's pockets bigger, which would just be helping him get yet another win, as even when Drake is trying to go against Kendrick and humiliate him, he would still actually be helping him win in a way regardless. And so now with the place where we are at, where Kendrick Lamar has this entire tour and Drake is seemingly scrambling to try and find a way to get him from not being able to play a show that will forever tarnish the relationship Drake has with his city, as it will solidify that over everything Drake has said, that people in masses still want to go and support the guy who has ruined his career. And because of this, what Drake is going to have to realize sooner rather than later is that no matter at this point what tricks he pulls out and how he tries to put things back in his favor, Kendrick Lamar has really become just too big to be stopped, because with the success of GNX, which in terms of mainstream albums' pure streaming numbers, is the biggest rap album the industry has gotten in multiple years at this point in terms of the efficiency and impact it's having on the charts, which is why Kendrick has now overtaken Drake's monthly listener count, and GNX is on pace to have some of the best second and third week numbers we have seen in quite some time for an album in this quick consumption era as well. All in all, between things like this to just Kendrick having such a greater vision for everything happening right now, which has made his movement bigger than just a single artist, because from the producers and rappers featured on his own album, to other people like Baby Keem, to all of Top Dog Entertainment, and at the center of the plan right now in SZA, who is joining him on tour and has more music on the way herself, and even someone like Doechii, who is rumored to become the opener for this series of concerts. And this would just be a perfect fit, as she really embodies so much of what has made both Kendrick as a rapper beloved and SZA as a singer. And with the way right now we are watching Doechii rise into genuine stardom, and also with the expectation that her debut album is going to be coming out in 2025 as well, and from people who have heard it, they are saying that it's genre changing. At this point, Kendrick Lamar has a group of some of the best creatives in the music industry more united than any crew has been in a long time, and for Drake, his own city is turning on him. So really, the lesson to learn from with all of this here is that Kendrick has organically created an entire machine that he is steering, and unless something unprecedented happens, will ensure that every single moment he wants to create in the near future seemingly happens on his terms and no one else's. Even with Drake's own city, there is no changing the reality of this situation for what is about to just be another year of humiliation and embarrassment for him, and especially in this time where Drake is resulting to petty antics and just trying to plot on how to rewrite history, instead of just doing whatever he can to make the future of what's to come just actually better off for him. With the downfall we have seen from Drake, and with all of the hype around Kendrick and his camp, which is about to give us at the very least what we 100% know for sure, what is going to end up going down is not just the most successful tour in hip-hop history based on its projections, but really one of the most iconic as well, as this will serve as the grand victory lap to arguably the greatest run we have ever seen from a single rapper. All in all, really with Kendrick, SZA, Doechii, and all of the hype going around the entire camp that surrounds Lamar, at this point, it's more clear than ever. What we are about to witness are a lot more moments of what is hip-hop at its very finest. So now with all of this said, let me know, what do you think about Drake wanting to sabotage Kendrick Lamar's upcoming tour plans to dominate 2025, and do you think that at this point, Kendrick has just become too powerful with all of the hype around not just him but his entire camp to stop whatever they have planned one bit? Or do you think Drake has something up his sleeve that will make him be able to ruin all of this? Now I can't wait to hear your thoughts on everything this moment is telling us, because with all the artists that this movement is showing, it's gonna end up bringing to new heights. We are really seeing the shift in hip-hop that we have been talking about for months coming to fruition stronger than we ever have. And so now if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how alongside Drake just failing to take down Kendrick yet again, Drake is also failing to stay on good terms with DJ Academics, which is exposing both of them more than we have ever seen, check out the suggested video.